All right, so continuing on with lesson 88. So in example 2, we have these two triangles. You can sketch them in your notes if you want, or you can just look on page 575 in the text. It says triangles ABC and XYZ are congruent, so have grace with me. Pretend that I drew them correctly, please. And we have to name two transformations that would move this triangle to this triangle. So again, I really think it's helpful to have some sort of a manipulative. I mean, you could cut out triangles, but I happened to see this on my fridge and I thought, oh, it works. So I'm going to use for this straight line, I'm going to use this straight line here. So I'm going to start like this. All right, so first off, how could I get the triangles facing the same way? Well, in order to get the P from here to over here, I had to flip it, right? We don't want to call it flipping anymore. We want to call it reflecting. So we have to reflect it. Okay. And then, but at first when we reflect it, we're going to end up right here. And so we would also have to slide it on over. But we're not going to use the word slide because we're smarter than that now, right? We're going to use the word translation. So we had to do a reflection and a translation. That would be our answer if that was our question on an assignment, because that's what we had to do to this triangle to get it here. Okay. So then if you look at lesson practice, actually let's do example 3 first, and then we'll move on to the lesson practices, okay? So in example 3, we have these two triangles, and again, they just drew them on a coordinate plane. You don't have to draw them on a coordinate plane. I mean, if you have graph paper, if you grabbed some before we left, then that's great. But if you just happen to have some at home, but if you don't, it's no big deal. So here's my one triangle, and again, have grace with me. Pretend these are congruent. Gotta use your imagination a little bit on this one. All right, so we have here triangle ABC, and then we have triangle PQR here. And we have to, again, describe the two transformations that would move this triangle to this triangle. All right, so again, I'm going to use my P here because this is pretty convenient, okay? The first thing I see is that I am going to have to, sorry, distracted by my family. I'm going to have to turn it, but we're going to call it rotation, right? I need to like drop this down. It's going to rotate. It's going to be rotating it, okay? And how much am I rotating it? Well, I had to go from like the 12 o'clock down to the 3 o'clock. So that's a 90-degree clockwise rotation. And then once I've done that, now I'm here. How am I going to get it from here down to here? Okay. Well, I'm going to have to translate it. It's a translation. It's a slide, which we call a translation. So these are your two movements. Oops, I wrote translation, guys. Spelling is important. Okay, so a 90-degree clockwise rotation and a translation gets us from triangle ABC to triangle PQR. Okay. So I want you to do, let's pause the video, please, and do lesson practice. Let's do D and F. And for both of these, remember, you're trying to get from A to B, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and do the work and then restart, and we'll see if you come up with the correct transformations. I will tell you that one of them just has one transformation and the other one has either 2 or 3. There's multiple answers. All right. Oh, move your hand. I have a little helper with me now, guys. Nope, move your hand, Mia. Okay, so for letter D, what did you come up with? Well, hopefully you saw that to get from A to B, what you would have to do is rotate it. And it's a rotation that is 90 degrees and it's counterclockwise. So there's one rotation there, or there's one transformation there. It's a rotation and it's 90 degrees and counterclockwise. Now for this one, there could have been 2 or even 3. There's 3 different ways to do it. One way is that you might have, all right, let me put it here, this one, okay, so if this is my A, okay, this is A. I might have reflected it, first off, this way, boom, and then translated it that way. So that was option 1, is a reflection and a translation. Option 2, let me get back to my original here. I might have rotated it and then reflected it. So I might have rotated it like this, whoosh, and then reflected it. So that's option 2, rotation and reflection. And then our third option actually has 3 different parts to it. Okay, so starting back here again with my A, my letter P that we're using for triangle A, I could have rotated it. Gotta remember how I did it now. Could have rotated it and then reflected it and translated it. So you might have said that as well. All right, so moving on to your assigned work for the day. So your assigned work for the day is, let me find it. Hold on, I gotta get back to the right page. So we are doing page 582 to 585, and you are doing numbers 2 through 30 even. Now, today we're going to try something new. Okay, you can go ahead and you can do the work. Oh, I don't have any papers here in the packet that I gave you, but I'm going to try having you insert your answers into a Google form. So go ahead and do the work on paper, but instead of having you or your parents take pictures of your assignments and uploading them, instead when you go into my Google Classroom and you look at the assignment for today, you're going to see a Google form there. And it's numbered 2 through 30, okay, evens, it goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and they're all just set up so you can just type in your answer for every problem. And then when you've typed in all the answers, you can click submit, and then I will be able to grade your assignments that way. So we're going to give that a try and see how it works, okay? I think it'll be a lot easier for you and your parents, and also for me, so I can read your documents a little bit better. So let me know, of course, call me if you're having any difficulty with that, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye.